Hi, my loves. What's up? How is everyone doing? Y'all, I have been so out of it. My phone went to repair. I had to get a new tripod stand, but guess what? I bought a new tripod stand. It seemed functional at the store, but when I got home, it just wasn't functional. It's the weirdest thing ever. Anyway, I'm gonna be doing a card reading for Celeste Rivas and D4VD, or David, as you know, the artist. When I heard about this case, I was super intrigued because I wanted to know if he actually did it. Um, and when I created the video on this channel for this particular case, a lot of things went haywire. A lot of things did not, function the way they were supposed to function when I was doing the reading. So I had to pull over the cards and do over the entire reading. I didn't get back the same exact cards, but most of the cards are actually in sync, which I found pretty cool because I shuffled over the entire deck and similar cards came out. All right, so let's dive into these messages. What happened? Did D4VD did indeed take the life of Celeste Rivas? So, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the case, Celeste Rivas was a minor. She met D4VD online. They started talking, then they started hanging out. He was just, I think, 19 or 20 at the time, and she was just like 13 or 14, which, by the way, does a charge by itself, it's statutory rape. Okay. Being around a minor, entertaining a minor romantically, all of those things against the law. So we see that in Celeste Rivas's case, she got involved with David D4VD, and she probably shouldn't have, because that's dangerous territories. So let's see, did he do this? Did he indeed commit the crime? He pled not guilty in court, and I want to know, did he do it, yes or no? And I think that he did, and I'll tell you all why I think that he did. Based on the cards, it's safe to say that D4VD allowed his shadow side to take over, okay? This is the devil. And the devil, in this instance, doesn't mean a literal devil, although we know anything heinous or low vibrational is coming from low vibrational energies and entities. I think, however, based on what this card represents, it is abuse of drugs, abuse of substances, sometimes it's addictions. Okay, so I think he allowed his lower energies to take him over, and I really do believe that he probably does have an entity attachment, because look how scary this thing is looking. And intuitively, I think he does have an entity attachment. I say that for many reasons, but we'll get into that later on in the reading. So he definitely, I think, is guilty. Okay. The Emperor came out. It was in reverse, but I put it up right. This is somebody who, when in reverse, is someone who abuses their power. Okay, they think of a tyrant, and that is what an emperor in reverse is going to be. I also observed the triangles on the arms of the chair in this image, and I also observed the bionic left eye. Okay, so this has secret society undertones, I would believe, because that's what I feel intuitively when I look at the card as well. I think that D4VD was part of a secret society. I could be wrong. And I do think that this unaliving had sacrificial undertones, and I'll explain further, okay? Stick with me. So this is Celeste. She was a Virgo. I believe she was a Virgo, Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. That's just confirmation. And this is the 10 of Swords. Usually I see this when there is betrayal, heavy betrayal, not just light stuff. This is heavy betrayal. And I like how these cards actually came out. It paints a storyline. If you look carefully, there is the Emperor in reverse, the Ten of Swords, and there is Celeste, okay? I also see here the High Priestess, so I think she intuitively knew something was not right. I think she felt it, but she didn't follow her intuition. I think she did not follow her intuition. Because right after this card, the Five of Swords came out, which is indicative of fights, arguments, really bad blowouts, which led to a tower moment. And a tower is like a sudden event, and like an event that just is shocking. So it led to the death card. And guys, listen, when I channel messages, I also use my intuition when I look at the images. And if you guys look at the order of these cards, you have here big arguments which led to a tower moment. This could be the actual, actual unaliving, because this is also under the Ten of Swords. What are the odds? All right, the Ten of Swords and the Tower together. Major act of betrayal, which led to a death, literally. I think this is the angel of death. If you look, she has a tool in her hand, and it's a cemetery in the background. So yeah, I think he did it. He's guilty. He's only pleading not guilty because obviously he has his image to maintain. Judgment would be called on the situation though, and judgment is being called on the situation because the matter is currently before the court, and I believe it's federal court if I'm not mistaken. All right, so let's dive into these clues and hints on this end here. So it happened at nighttime. Confirmation that the unaliving happened at night. This is double confirmation because I shuffled and both cards indicated at night. Up to 3 people are aware of what happened, but there's a ringleader because there's one person to the front here and 2 others behind. So up to 3 people knew what transpired. But I think D4VD, David, is going to take the fall, unfortunately. I think these other 2 in the background would probably throw him under the bus. I think it might be 2 of his associates or so-called friends that may be a part of a secret society. Then we see a car, a cup, and these 2, okay? So, I know that she took a trip to his house, okay? And I know that this here is the red fluid shed, okay? I don't want to say the word, but confirmation, red fluid, blue fluid. So there's a lot of crying here. She could have been crying during the incident. 2 weapons could have been used, specifically 2 knives or 2 cutting instruments. This is really sad, guys. 3 strikes and you're out. So she was tired of having her boundaries invaded by this said individual. If you look carefully, you would also see a triangle. I keep seeing the triangles. Anytime I see triangles, I think and then there's a cross. So there's like a sacrificial type of vibe to it here, or ritualistic kind of twist. Because this is this could represent many things. It could also represent religion, secret societies, anything in the spiritual. This cross represents that, right? And this here is also a circle. So I get that something was pretty unique about her blood as well. She could have been O positive or something like that. Something about her blood here is coming through. There's a cup, so maybe he gave her something to drink. Maybe that drink was spiked or something along those lines. There's also a hand. Maybe he got physical with her. feel like people watched. Like I think there's an element of other people watching when this happened. Cause I can't help but like feel that intuitively when I look at these two cards. So it could be that other people watched while she was being unalived. Did he stream this? Was this streamed? Was he did he record this incident? If he did, that would be so stupid. That would be like the most important piece of incriminating evidence. If you recorded it, that's so dumb. Alright, so when I did my first reading on this, what intuitively came to mind was the devil told me to do it. So I think he there's something, I think he does have an entity attachment, you know, guys. I genuinely believe he has an entity attachment that that he allowed to take over his vessel. Okay? And it happened, if you look carefully, it happened during the argument. Because this card is here. Is the leading card. It happened when he was arguing. Maybe he allowed his anger to get the best of him, and that ultimately led to him abusing his power, which caused the tower moment, which caused the death. Yep, that's what happened here. There's a car that is significant, so I think the car that was used is significant. I believe that her body parts were found in his Tesla, so this is just double confirmation that, you know, yes, the car played a major role in this. Yeah, but 3 people, no, up to 3 people, I think. Could be more than 3 people. Could be more than 3 people, but they know. They're aware. There are people that know what happened. And it's, if they're going to testify against D4VD, we're going to know. We're going to have to see. Stick around to see what the outcome of the case is going to be. I think that he's going to be found guilty based on the evidence. I genuinely think that. And I think justice would be served in this situation because judgment came out upright. Okay. I also think that there's a guardian angel ensuring that this happens. Yeah. So there is that. Yeah, there's definitely an angel helping in this situation. So there's the angel of death, and then there's also like a higher vibrational angel that is seeing this entire case through, I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a guardian angel of Celeste, you know. I just wish she had listened to her intuition though, because her intuition, her alarm bells were going off. This is also like, what I see is that he could have been dabbling in other things, you know, because this is like, you all know what that symbol is. He could have been dabbling in like rituals. I think Celeste knew maybe that he was like indulging in rituals and all these things, but she didn't judge him, and she just kind of allowed it to happen. This also could mean that they were drinking in a circle of friends, you know, and it happened. So yeah, I think he did it. I think he's guilty, guys. I think D4VD, although he pled not guilty, I think he's guilty. And I don't think things are going to go in his favor, but we'll see. Alright, if you like, don't forget to subscribe. If you don't like, feel free to visit another channel, y'all. Okay, bye. Oh, this is also a house in the mountains, like countryside. It could be a house in the, I just said coast, so it could be some house that's close to a coast or something like that, or but a house is significant. Maybe this is where she went frequently, you know. Yeah. Anyway, if you like, don't forget to subscribe. If you don't like, feel free to visit another channel, y'all. Bye.